We have a ton of stuff coming up in Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and a bunch of it starts this week. We are in the last week of May now, so the month of May will come to an end on Saturday. So be sure you're taking those pictures with Nizatama and spending your yokes at the event stand. And with the end of May, we're rounding out spring because summer in the game starts with June. And that means our seasonal visitors will rotate. That includes Keropi's 3 Friends, which we just got on Steam and Switch with Content Update 1. So be sure you have their cabins ready. You do have the rest of this week to try to get them to 5 stars. Our other springtime all the time visitor is Mackerel. So if you don't have her yet, be sure you have her cabin ready because you only have the rest of this week to get her. In addition, we do have one traveler, Nuts, only comes on weekends in the spring and in the fall. And that means this upcoming travel period will be split. So for the 29th through the 31st, so Thursday through Saturday, you could be seeing Nuts, and then on Sunday and Monday, you could be seeing Coco. In addition to this, we have our regular travelers, Cappuccino, Fenico, Puko, Puppy, and Poron. You could see any of them during the normal traveling period, Thursday through Monday. And then we have our next event starting this week, Thursday, May 29th. The Under the Sea celebration starts. This is the one where last year we unlocked different mermaid tails and tops. This event came out around the time when Kuromi got her new tail, so I wonder a little bit if we might see other characters get tails, and if we'll get any new mermaid tails, or maybe even tentacles like an octopus or jellyfish, or some other new style of tail. The ones that we unlocked last year were partially based on a poll they did in Discord, so if you don't have that mermaid gear yet, you'll finally have a chance to get it starting Thursday in Tuxedo Sam's shop. All the old furniture should also come back, rotating in my Melody shop and possibly the event stand. This is going to be our next major event, the one that runs pretty long. Last year we had to collect 7 scales, plus I'm pretty sure we could get additional ones from the daily task. I'm not sure how they may have changed it this year. We'll have to wait and see on Thursday. We have seen a preview of some of the new items coming to the game in the promotional images and on the login bonus calendar. The little crab plush is so cute, and then it looks like we'll be getting snorkeling or scuba gear as well. And that is the next major event coming to all platforms, so Switch, Steam, and Apple Arcade. And we expect the event to be the same on all platforms, but we'll have to wait and see on Thursday to see exactly how the event will work. And the day before that event on Wednesday is our next update on Apple Arcade. This is update 2.6, and it sounds like it's going to be a big one. And if you don't play on Apple Arcade and you play on Steam or Switch instead, I would still pay attention to 2.6 because Content Update 2 is going to cover parts of 2.5 and 2.6. 2.6 on Apple Arcade launches this Wednesday, May 28th. We will be streaming the update around when it drops, which is usually sometime in the middle of the day Eastern time. And of course, everything we know so far is kind of cryptic. One thing that is straightforward, we know the title of 2.6 is the biggest challenge. So what is the biggest challenge? Does that mean it's something with big challenges? Or something else entirely? It feels like it's time for Big Challenge's big ride, possibly the Icy Peak Shriek, or whatever he talks about in one of the final Island Spirit quests, where he tells us he's preparing a big project, and it'll be a big surprise. We did get a clue that there's something in some of Big Challenge's dialogue that talks about a thing that's coming in 2.6, and it feels like the Icy Peak Shriek could be it. He also says that everyone's gonna lose their shoes. Do we see a new shoe store coming? Finally find Top Hat's feet? Probably not, but an Icy Peak roller coaster or some other big ride feels like it could be something, because also at the end of March, Chelsea had posted, do you ever just sit back and stare at your original release key art and go, wow, how'd they manage to hide 2.6 spoilers in there? And here's what that release art looks like. Now, if you see something else in here, let us know in the comments below. I think the thing that most of us have zoomed in on is that mountain in the background with what appears to be a roller coaster around it. Could we actually see a roller coaster like this? Now that there's no more wind and snow on Icy Peak, do we want a roller coaster on Icy Peak? Will it be something that we can ride? Will something happen if we do ride it? Could it unveil something else? Will it end up being a way to collect things just like the minecart, or take us to a new area, or be something else entirely. Other random things we know? I had made a comment about merch shop ideas. I got a reaction that made me think maybe some sort of in-game big challenges, big adventure park theme type thing. We already have this furniture set. Maybe we could see something else, or maybe a big adventures park theme something in the game. And then someone suggested a giant big challenges model, billboard, balloon float, or the roller coaster to be big challenges shaped. We were told one of those is accurate. So could that be what the biggest challenge is? A giant big challenges model? A big challenges themed roller coaster? A giant balloon float maybe? We did find out one confirmation. The issue with the Figment's comment is fixed, so we should finally be able to complete that set in the game. Back in April, when we weren't so happy about the moving of the rooftop fast travel point in City Town, we did get a response saying that the orange building in the back left of the orchard was going to get a lot taller and add a fast travel point there. However, we have no idea when that's going to happen or why. Seems like a place for a helipad, but since we don't know when, could that be something that we see in this update? Or is that going to be more far off in the future? And then one night last week, we were given this series of emoji. Folks in Discord have basically made sense of it. If you take the first letter of that emoji, move it one backwards, it starts to make a phrase, with a few of them being a little questionable because if you use the actual name of the emoji, it doesn't quite work, and it seems like at least one of the letters has more than one emoji representation, which makes us think that one may be a little bit different as well. But in any case, when you put it all together, it looks like it says a dream of an exhilarating bath, or maybe path, depending on how you interpret that one. Either way, it's kind of a little bit strange. If it's path, then I'm still thinking roller coaster, or maybe a slide of some sort. If it's bath, maybe a water slide, maybe bathtub roller coaster carts, maybe an ice bath. Since we have those new areas on Icy Peak, you might think maybe a bathhouse or a sauna, but I don't know how that becomes exhilarating. Maybe sharks of some sort, in a pool, in a bath, maybe a polar bear swim. And if it was that, would this be the time to get Mapu? We do know that at least one new visitor is coming, and we're told it's hilarious. And that's all the clues that we have on the visitor, so we're really not sure who it's gonna be. Maybe Bats finally gets a friend. Then there's also the fact that it says Dream. We know that Dream has been a theme throughout the Friendship Island quest, but especially in City Town. So maybe we could see another dream quest in City Town. Maybe Big Challenges does something in City Town. And we also know something is happening on Cloud Island. We had that fast travel point that got added to the list in a previous update, and it sounds like in 2.6 we can finally see where that goes. Is it possible that the roller coaster goes so high that we see a new area of Cloud Island? Will there just be a new area of Cloud Island? Where's the fast travel location gonna go? To somewhere we already have? Like maybe next to the Candy Cloud machines? But could we see something like the magical twin comets coming? Could we see the little twin comets occupying a similar place as Kiki and Llama, but on Imagination Island? We were also told there's going to be some good wild speculation fodder in 2.6, so that makes it seem like more story, more lore, maybe coming in 2.6. As for the visitor coming in 2.6, other than them being hilarious, we don't really know who it's going to be. Could we see another character from Retsuko's universe? Maybe someone new for someone who doesn't have any visitors yet, like Batsmaru? Maybe another visitor for Kuromi? Maybe somebody entirely new like Mapu? Maybe a visitor for Hangidon? But we'll have to wait and see. Looking ahead to June, that's when we're gonna see Content Update 2 coming to Steam and Switch. Content Update 2 should be covering the rest of 2.5 and content from 2.6. That means that Switch and Steam will finally have the Bestie Collection feature, where you'll have a centralized way to ask all of your best friends to collect things for you, and you can automate it so they do that every day. In addition to this, they have acknowledged that Switch had some issues with performance with Content Update 1. They have found 2 issues, and they'll be addressing those in Content Update 2. These include an underlying graphics setting that was improperly set, leading to less performant visuals being displayed, and they also found that resource stacking when players miss days, the way that resources now stack for up to 3 days, has been creating more strain than intended on frame rate. So they'll be working to correct those 2 things. I'm not entirely sure if that means it's not going to look as nice as it does right now, but maybe it'll run better and have better frame rate. They said in the meantime they recommend that players use best friends to help collect resources, especially in areas that are the worst for frame drops. And then they let us know that the safe release date for Content Update 2 on Switch is the end of June, but hopefully it gets through approvals much faster, just like Content Update 1 did, and then they'll be able to release it earlier. There'll be more updates as they have them. So sometime in June, end of June at the very latest, we'll have Content Update 2 with 2.5 and 2.6 content for Switch and Steam. It'll probably come out on Steam first and then come to Switch, depending on when Switch makes it through the approval process. And as a reminder, Content Update 2 does not include City Town. We've known since the beginning that that is a future thing. Another thing to look forward to in June is the Paper Parade. That'll be our shorter event in the month of June. Last year, the Paper Parade started June 13th, so it seems likely we'll see it starting sometime in the middle of June. It's a shorter event that overlaps with the Under the Sea celebration. It seems highly likely that that flower we haven't seen yet is probably going to be associated with the Paper Parade. So no event flower with the Under the Sea celebration that we know of, but probably a new event flower with the Paper Parade. And when June starts on Sunday, summer starts in the game. That means we'll see a new visitor rotation. That means we should be seeing Coco on a traveling schedule, and then Pam and Tam could visit at any time. So if you don't have any of them yet, this will be your chance starting on Sunday. Be sure to prep those cabins in advance. And then also looking ahead to June, we do have some visitors with birthdays. So Barry should be on your island June 6th if you have the cabin ready. And then June 27th is Cappuccino's birthday, so you should see him then if you have a cabin ready. And of course, just as I was finishing recording, we got a teaser for another big secret about 2.6. So as I was waiting for this next hint, the big secret, I started thinking, what else could it be? Is it going to be new mini games? We had heard a little about a cabin mini game, but it didn't feel like that would be for this, and that the team is really excited for players to see what they have in store in 2.6. And then for today's big secret that got shared, you're reminded that when the game first came out, you didn't want any spoilers in the Discord about big challenges, and then they said day 2 of 2.6 is going to be so incredible, and we're going to have a spoiler rule for it. So it sounds like day 2 of 2.6 is going to come with a big challenges level reveal. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but that definitely feels like a big story reveal, a new area reveal, a major lore component. We did not have a similar warning for Merry Meadow when that whole area was revealed, so this definitely feels more story oriented, more around the lore, the main story, some sort of big reveal. Will we finally learn about the ancient civilization, what's going on with the nulls and the mini games, why the island started out as a gray rock, meet Big Challenge's mom, finally have the camera swivel around and you can see the other side of the island, figure out what those ancient ruins are under the sea, learn that the nulls could talk this whole time, maybe we'll end up getting shoes. And this reminded me of a Screen Rant article with an interview with Chelsea earlier this year. In it they were talking about the imminent launch on Switch, and that they'd been focused very much on the immediate. A lot of the recent updates were focused on City Town, and they tended to be a bit smaller. However, she went on to say that on the roadmap, they had 3-ish major technological innovations they want to bring to the game. Things that are not an incremental update, but instead a fundamentally new way to engage with the game, either with exploration, traversal mechanics, or with the customization and making the world your own. Maybe outside decorating. At the time, she said they had those major innovations on the horizon, and that with the launch of Switch, they'd be looking at the horizon again. And so I wonder, is 2.6 one of these major technological innovations for the game? Have we seen any of those already with all these major quality of life improvements? But could we be looking at a new way to interact with the game? Could it be a new mini game? It was in the spring when we got the flower breeding mechanic, which really changed the way we interacted with the game. Could we see something else transformative, maybe even more transformative coming to the game? Is that what we get to see in 2.6? Is it woven in with the storyline? Is the way we look at the game going to be fundamentally different? What do you think is going to happen on day 2 of update 2.6? That'll be Thursday, the first day of the Under the Sea celebration. We will be streaming at some point on that day. So day 1 will be Wednesday this week, and then day 2 and this big reveal will be on Thursday. So I think that's just about everything in Hello Kitty Island Adventure this week, and a big picture look at what's coming up soon. Subscribe for more Hello Kitty Island Adventure content. I try to stream all of the updates on Apple Arcade and on Nintendo Switch, and there are a ton of video guides on the channel. Turn on notifications to find out the next time we go live. Hope to see you there.